So every basketball parent knows the cost of AAU. You have the hotels, you have the travel, you have the coaches, you have the other expenses, the nutrition, the gear, all these different things. But most people don't know that that's not what you pay for most at the end. Because while you're writing the checks, your teenager is behind the scenes paying for all this too. It's their development, it's their relief, it's their drive, it's their love for the game, it's their time most importantly. That's actually what's getting spent. Most importantly, if a year goes by, you've spent all that time trying to figure things out, and you find yourself in the same situation that you were before. If that's you, stick around and keep listening. My name's Trey Mourning. I run a company called Coach Comma. What we do specifically, we work with the families of elite youth basketball players here in the United States. We work with over 100 players and parents up until this point. And what we do is we help you all raise confident and decisive players and really cut through the noise of basketball politics. We've seen players increase their scoring average. I'm talking about multiplying it, double, triple, quadruple even. And we see players and young people grow in confidence, grow in basketball IQ, and you and parents grow in peace of mind because now you feel like you have the right path to get to where it is that you want to get to in basketball. Now, for me personally, I played professional basketball for about 3 years all over the world, Russia, New Zealand, was in training camp with the Houston Rockets here in the United States in the NBA, and I was with the Miami Heat's affiliate team in the G League where I was the vice president of the Players Union. I was a captain of the Georgetown men's basketball team, one of the best players in high school coming out of the class of 2014, and also my father played 16 years in the NBA and had a front row seat to all of it, his ups, his downs, and he achieved some amazing things. First ballot Hall of Famer, NBA champion, the whole nine. I actually have a video on this page if you want to check that out. But back to my point, hear me out. I'm not anti-AAU, although I never played AAU, to be quite honest with you, when I had offers to Georgetown, Duke, and Florida, and other top schools across the country. Again, I'm not against it. I'm just tired of parents making investments and calling it development. Now, I actually had a call with a family earlier today. They're a part of our community within the Varsity Performance System, which is a program that I run. And one of the families was telling me about their son. And this is a teenager. He's a high-level high school basketball player here in the United States. He's playing, I believe, on the Puma circuit right now. And he was struggling with his confidence. He's struggling with the grind of everything. He's working out about 6 days a week and putting in the effort. And he's starting to feel frustrated. He's playing a new position. A lot is being asked of him. And I'm sure some of you as parents are seeing the same thing with your player. They're developing, you're putting in the work, you're making the investment. And more importantly, you're spending the time, energy, and effort on the things that matter most to you and your teenager. On this path, you're going to have a lot of frustrations, and you need a guide, you need a system to be able to help you get there. And I'm going to do all of that while making sure that you don't waste a dime. Now, there are 3 hidden costs that you need to look out for in this process. Before that, what I want to do is point you to a free resource that I have at the bottom of this video. It's the post-game car ride framework. I give it to all the parents who join the program. They have access to this, and you have access to it as well. Just go ahead and click the link below, put in your email, and I'll go ahead and send it over to you. But first, the first cost is fragmented development. Okay. So you're spending money on coaches, on trainers, on whether it could be a strength coach, it could be on the court skill development, it could be the nutritionist, it could be the agility coach, it could be the travel basketball team, it could be the gear. I named like 6 or 7 things right there, right? So you're spending all this money and all your attention and energy is scattered. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you should just do one thing, but what I am saying is you should understand what you're investing in and why. I see so many families just throw money at an AAU program and expect, okay, I'm around good competition. I'm on the Nike circuit. I'm playing EYBL. I am on the Adidas circuit, or wherever it is. I'm on a shoe sponsored circuit, and I'm hoping to get better. Not every coach is a great coach. I talk about that in some of my other content, but most importantly, it's your responsibility as a parent to make the right investment, and you need help in terms of doing that. You've never done this before, and your son or daughter only gets one shot at this. Yes, you have other children potentially who can go through this process, but at the same time, they only get one shot at this as well. And you as parents need to be equipped with the knowledge and tools to be able to make those right decisions. Most times you don't have a skill development problem within your house. I see so many skilled players around the country. They have an alignment problem, and you as a family have an alignment problem. You all need to get on the same page about what you're investing in, what you're doing, and why. And when everybody is together, I promise you that bus is going to go a lot faster. In addition to that, most trainers don't actually teach players how to make reads out on the court. They just teach them to make moves so that when they get out in the situation, their mind is still all cluttered and they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. It's like giving a toddler a bunch of tools, right? And then they go off and you send them on their way and you're like, okay, go ahead and build a house, or go ahead and repair the washing machine, right? You need to be given the tools, and you need to be taught when to use the tools in what situation. Somebody with the right tools but not the right wisdom as to when to use those tools is completely useless, and that's what your player looks like on the court. Next, the second cost is the tax of politics. Now, when you enter this AAU program, there is a bunch of daddy ball potentially, and there's a new program director and a coach who you never met before, and you're told this promise and that promise, and you put the money in, but now you feel like you have to wait out the whole entire season, right? Even though things are going the right way. And you don't want to be that parent who pulls your player out of the program because you feel like you're going to teach them to quit stuff, but that's not what this is about, right? This is about you making the most of the time that you have. And if your time is not valued in that AAU program, you all need to shift, pivot. I've even seen this at the high school level. You all may need to change the high school program because they are actually wasting your time. I talked about this before, and this is in another video that I'll shoot you to right after this. A lot of coaches don't have the incentive to actually give it crap about you and your player because they're paid whether or not they win, right? And they're not necessarily concerned with the development of your player, but you're spending this money thinking that, okay, I spend this money, made the investment, and my player is going to get the correct development. That's not always what happens, and more than likely, you've already learned that lesson, or you're starting to learn that lesson. The worst thing I see is when parents deny that, right? They start to feel like, okay, I feel like I'm getting gypped. I feel like this is kind of iffy. You know, my player is playing, the coach is promising one thing, and this is that and the third, and they're not getting an opportunity. They're not growing. They're not developing, but I don't want to pull them out. You're starting to sense what is going on. And yes, you're right? I don't want you to be gaslit. I don't want you to be manipulated in this process. And I want to put you on game because a lot of this stuff happens within AAU basketball. Not every coach is a great coach. There's a reason why not every NBA coach is a great coach, to be quite honest with you, but there's a reason why not every player gets developed correctly and not every player makes it to the next level. Coaching and tutelage has a lot to do with that. And I think just because some players have played at a certain level, whether it be in college or things like that. I know players who play professionally. I was talking with a buddy of mine, Mac McClung, not too long ago. And Mac was telling me that he first learned about pick and roll coverages at the college level, right? This is something that we teach in our programs right now. Mac and I were at dinner. We were talking about this stuff. He was my freshman when I was at Georgetown. And it's amazing to me that a player of his level who was nationally ranked, and I was nationally ranked as well, we came into a program, and that's when we're finally learning about pick and roll coverages and how to break down a blitz, or how to get through a hedge, and the right reads to make on a drop, whether you're snaking it or whether you're putting the defender in jail, a bunch of different things like that. If it sounds like gibberish to you, you'll start to understand some of this, and hopefully your player knows some of these terms as well. I'm going to be breaking down these things on this channel so you get more information and just get an understanding as to what all of this looks like, right, from a professional level. And even at the professional level, you got these politics. So it's not a matter of avoiding the politics. You got to be able to cut through them. And then also you do have to discern what rooms you need to be in and which rooms you don't need to be in. Because at the end of the day, you only have a certain amount of time to get this done, right? Your son is only a freshman one time. Your daughter's only a sophomore or junior one time. You need to get this done as soon as possible. And you need to work with people who absolutely know what they're talking about. And now third, this is probably the most impactful cost that there is. This is the love of the game cost. And I call it the love of the game cost because your player, they love this game. Your teenager, let me say, they love this game. Your baby boy, your baby girl, they absolutely love this game. They've been busting their butt, and you have the means to be able to invest and get them that right help that they need. You probably have the means to get them the help that you never had when you were their age. And you're thinking, dang, this is going to pan out differently than it did when I was younger. And you're probably pissed as a parent because it's not, right? Because you see them get really excited about the game of basketball, and then as the summer goes by, they're like, dang, I put in all this work. I was really excited for the season. And now I feel like I'm starting the high school season next year, the same place where I was before, because I didn't properly develop. I didn't properly grow and all these other things, right? I want to comfort you in this and tell you that you're not alone. There are other families who go through this. There are other players who go through this exact thing. And I felt discouraged as well sometimes in my playing career. It's a part of the process. What I am telling you, though, is that you need to learn from this, make a shift, and start working with people who know exactly what it is that they're talking about. If you don't, you're just going to lose more time. Please do not, and this is not everybody, but this is some parents. Some of you parents are very prideful, and you want to figure this out on your own. You want to be the LeVar Balls, and you want to say, okay, I'm going to figure all this out on my own. You don't have the information to be able to get you to that point. And I promise you, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing what it is that I do and getting the results for the clients. You could check my Instagram page, you could check the YouTube page, you could see the happy, successful client results, you could check my website, the whole nine, right? What I'm saying to you is that for the hundreds of thousands that I've made, I have spent tens of thousands in my own training and teaching, probably close to 100,000 now, in my own training and learning about how to be better at what it is that I do, whether it be running my business, running my team, getting better at serving you all across the board. I truly do invest in myself in order to get this done, right? So what I'm saying is this, for you all as parents, you aren't alone. There are other parents who are walking through this as well. There are other players who are walking through this as well. You just need to learn from your lesson and go get help, right? I personally believe I'm the best person in the world to be able to help you through this. I really do. And I have no doubt in my mind that I am. And my team's going to get you the result that you need. That being said, if you can't afford to work with me, find somebody who actually knows what they're doing, because time is running out. Time's running out. You only get one opportunity with this, okay? So the love of the game costs, as I was saying, as it pertains to your player, is the discouragement that they feel, right? It's this emotional roller coaster that they ride all the time. They feel like they're on cloud nine and doing their thing, and then they drop off a cliff, and then they're up and down. And it kind of feels like the coach is even playing them. It's like the coach has them on a yo-yo string. They're going up and down, right? Just depending on, they're happy if the coach gives them PT, and they're not happy if the coach doesn't give them playing time. And the coach kind of excites them and tells them, hey buddy, like, keep your head up, you're going to play the next game, but they don't get in the next game. So it's kind of like this up and down roller coaster. This is the actual cost of buying into the wrong team, buying into the wrong program, not asking the coach the right things. In the next video that I'm going to point you to, I'm going to talk about that and give you some resources and some questions that you could be thinking about and asking these coaches before you make the investment, because I view it as an investment, before you make the investment into that AAU program. So I'm going to go over a quick recap right now. First, we have the fragmented development, right? You're spending money and investing money on all these different tools and resources to be able to get your player the help, but you don't really know if it's working, right? You got a bunch of plates spinning on these sticks, and you're trying to make all these things work. And it's really about simplifying the process, getting a clear cut structure in order to get you from point A to point B and get you clarity as to where to invest, right? The next one is the politics of the tax. The game, the song and dance you're playing with the AAU coaches, the program directors, and even the athletic directors in high school and all the other stuff you're dealing with. It's the politics of the game, the BS that you don't want to deal with, but you're going to have to deal with at every single level. And you keep getting gypped, you keep getting duped, and you get your time wasted by people who really have no incentive to care about your time. They just want to collect a check and play games and potentially win games, but they're not about development, and you know that. And again, none of this means quit AAU. I just want you to get the right system and get the right understanding so you're making the right investment in order to get the result that you want. I feel like AAU can be a tool, but only when you use that tool in the right way with the right understanding. And before you spend another dollar this AAU season, you need to know what your teenager's coach isn't telling them. Go ahead and click the video right now.